Okay, fellas. 2025 fantasy football. Welcome back. This is not my first time recording this. I messed up a couple times. Said some factually incorrect information. Also, recorded it one time and it was just really sad for some reason. I was just a little bit too serious. Sadness due to the fact that obviously we lost a couple members this year. I'd like to take a little bit of time to say rest in peace to our gentleman, Ryan Chance, God rest his soul, and Dalton Bates, who stepped up and stepped out of the league when we knew nobody else would. So we do very much appreciate those two gentlemen for stepping away. Welcome back. A few things I want to cover today. One, we need to figure out when the draft is going to be. Two, we need to confirm what the pot's going to be. I'm still thinking the $100 buy-in, but we obviously want to figure out the numbers. And three, we need to figure out draft location. So to get into that first topic, which is draft timing, our second preseason game of the year is August 17th, and our third and last preseason game is going to be August 22nd, which is a Thursday night football game. So I typically like to draft somewhere in the middle of those preseason games, so that way we can make the most educated decisions when we are drafting our teams. So with that being said, I would like to do the draft between August 17th and August 25th. Let me know if there's any conflicting dates, if you have a wedding, if you have anything going on that would bleed into the night. If you have something in the morning, don't fucking say anything. Doesn't matter. I don't give a shit. In the afternoon, that's when that shit matters. So if you have anything in the afternoon on those days, let me know. Ideally, I'm thinking Friday, Saturday night. That way we can kind of draft into the night. Nobody has work the next day where they have to, dip out early. Ideally, I'd like to get as many people in person as possible. Obviously, there's going to be some people that do it remotely. Whatever. Next topic. Buy-in and pot. So $100 buy-in is obviously what I'm thinking. I would very much like to get it all in the same form of currency. And what I mean by that is either cash or all. I don't want to do Venmo, but if we have to do Venmo, we can. I know it's a little bit selfish. I just like having all of the money organized in one spot. So that way I don't have to worry about if it's in my Venmo account. I don't have to worry about if I need to Venmo somebody, having to pull from somewhere else, or I can't Venmo, whatever the fuck it is. I just like it all in one currency if possible. So if you come in person in the draft, I would appreciate if you bring your $100 buy-in at that time. I'm going to be snapping necks and cashing checks if you don't get your money in before the first game of the season. So first game of the season, by the way, is September 8th, which is, I believe, a home game against the Patriots, who are dog shit. So that should be a hell of a game to get very fucked up and get really bricked up for Bengals football. Anyway, pod. Obviously, 10 people instead of 12 people. I am thinking something along the lines of $700 for the winner, $150 for second place, $50 for third place. I completely fucked that up in my head. Because typically we do third place, they get their money back. So it'd be $100. We can do $100 for third place, $200 for second place, $700 for first place. Sorry, I can't fucking think right now. It's a long day, beginning of the week. Don't judge me. Third topic to cover today. Draft location. I believe last year Hunter hosted the draft. Shout out Hunter. Year before that, Connor Daniels hosted the draft. So a couple draft locations. Just throwing some places out there. If you'd like to volunteer a place, by all means, go ahead and do it. But my place is possible for the draft. A little bit small, but we could definitely make it work. Second place, Hunter. Obviously, he hosted last year. Not going to ask him again. Not going to push him out to volunteer. But if you'd like to host again, Hunter, feel free to do so. 3 would be Connor. Obviously, he has also already hosted, so don't want to push him for that too much. But if you'd like to host, your basement was a good spot. next, Dawson. I know Dawson has a cute little side room with his couch and a really big TV. Could also be a good place for a draft spot. But I'm not saying these people to volunteer you. I'm just throwing out some places, okay? So don't feel like I'm calling you out by any means, because if anybody else, there's 6 more people in the league on top of that. If anybody else would like to host, feel free to put your name out there. Otherwise, only other order of business is to give a big fat shout out to Mr. Connor Walsh, the returning champion. I know we were all very happy that a solid gentleman like Connor Walsh won the league last year. Shout out Connor. And then obviously I have to shout out the runner-up, which was Hunter Stevens. Came in at second place, first year doing fantasy football. Very admirable accomplishment that you made there, Hunter. So shout out to you. Otherwise, I believe that's all I need to cover today. Feel free to get the chat active as far as location and as far as day that works best for you guys. Otherwise, I'm very excited for fantasy football this year, boys. Get your game faces ready.